What is your passion? What is your call? I cannot claim that I felt a strong passion for anything as I spent my days on the banks of Galilee. I was just fishing my way through life. Today's catch supplied today's wages, and I had little thought of tomorrow. I assumed that I would live and die on that fishing boat. Follow me. From the shore, Jesus called out, "Follow me." And a passion stirred in my heart that changed who I was and who I would become. I followed him for 3 years with my own eyes. I saw Jesus do and say many wondrous things. But even though you have not seen him, all who love him and believe in him may also be filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy, a holy passion. What is your passion? What is your call? Jesus says to you, "Follow me." If you hear and respond to these words, they will transform all that you are and all you will become.
What is your passion? What is your call? Who do you live for? Who do you offer all? How you will answer is the answer to life on this earth and beyond. What is your passion? Your passion. What is the reason we live our days? Spending our lives in this time and place. How we answer will surely answer who we shall be. Who shall we be? But Jesus is calling. He's calling. Come follow me. Leave your nest, for I am calling. Calling down a road you cannot see. Come follow me, and start the journey of a lifetime. What a journey it will surely be. Come follow me. Come follow me. Come follow. So let us live with a passion. We will go. Rise up and follow. Follow the Lord of all. Come on a journey that will lead us to life on this earth and beyond. Jesus is calling. He's calling. Follow me. Jesus is calling. Come and follow me. Come follow
Jesus says, "Come, follow me." Though we don't know where he will lead us, I am persuaded that he who calls us by his glory and goodness will give us everything we need for this life. The knowledge and passion that leads us to follow him will bring us abundant grace and peace. My commitment to follow will be tested when we are once again on a lake. From our boat, we saw Jesus walking on the water. My passion sent me out to join him on this miraculous walk. But the experience tested my faith and taught me a lesson that I never forgot.
Walking across the sea.
I saw Jesus walking across the sea. I said, help me walk on the water. That's where I want to be. He said, go where your faith will take you. Now come on up to me. He said, come on up to me. So I stepped out on the water, but I wasn't sinking down. I stepped out on the water, but I wasn't sinking down. But the winds, the waves, the waters were staring all around. I said, help me, Lord, I'm sinking, sinking. Surely I will drown, surely drown.
And I felt Jesus, he was holding onto my hand.
Then I felt Jesus, he was holding onto my hand. He said, oh,
What little faith you have, you poor and doubtful man.
rise up, put your faith in me, and surely you will stand. Now rise and stand. I held on to Jesus. We were walking across the sea. Oh, I held on to Jesus. We were walking across the sea. And when I stepped back in the boat, I fell upon my knees. I said, surely you're the Son of God. Surely you're the Son of God. You are the Son of God. Have mercy on me. He's calling. Jesus still is calling. Jesus still is calling. Come and walk with me. Now Jesus still is calling. Come and walk with me. Wherever faith will take you, I promise I will be. Wherever you are walking, even when you're sinking, go where faith will take you. Rise up and walk with me. Rise up and walk with me.
As we go wherever faith will take us, we live through stormy and turbulent times. Through it all, we must humble ourselves under his mighty hand, that he may lift us up in times of trouble. Cast all your cares on him, because surely he cares for you. And though we may suffer and stumble in our faith, the God of all grace will restore us and make us strong, firm, and steadfast. More than anything, I wanted to be bold and strong in my faith. One day, Jesus asked me, "Who do you say that I am?" Without thinking, I blurted out, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." He had never claimed to be the Son of God, but those words were planted in the depth of my soul, and I knew they were true. He looked at me and said, "You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church." All at once, I knew there was no turning back. This was no longer just an adventure, a break from my life as a fisherman. My life's work would be to follow the Christ, the Son of the living God.
You are the Son of the living God. You are the Son of God, the living God.
kingdom on this earth. I'll build my church upon this rock, this solid rock.
And we say, you are the Christ, you are the Son of the living God. You are the Christ, you are the first begotten Son, born from the love of heaven. And we are the church, and we will serve and glorify. We are the church, to be a living sacrifice offered to you through all we are. And so our love for Christ will be the cause, the reason why we live our days to walk in faith in the rock, the solid rock.
Shout it out
You
now.
are the Christ, you are the Son of the living God. You are the Christ, you are the first begotten Son, born from the love of heaven. And we are the church, and we will serve and glorify. We are the church, to be a living sacrifice offered to you through all we are.
Upon this rock,
This rock,
I build my church. Upon this rock, I build my kingdom on this earth. I'll build my church upon this rock, this solid rock. I'll build my church upon this rock.
I'll build my church, I'll build my church, I'll build my church upon this rock.
So let your love for Christ be the cause of all you do as believers and as a church. You are like living stones being built into a spiritual house. Live as a chosen people belonging to God, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His wonderful light. Sometimes the road will lead us from light into darkness. As I followed Him into Jerusalem, a crowd welcomed Jesus with shouts of praise. But there were evil forces at work. Though I could feel the danger, I was undaunted. Even on the night of His arrest, I was ready for whatever would come. As we shared our last meal together, I told Him that I would never leave or forsake Him. To this, Jesus made a disturbing response. He told me that I would deny Him 3 times before the morning cock would crow. I had left everything to follow Him. I had committed my life to Him. How could He have so little confidence in my loyalty? Jesus knew that I would soon be tested beyond anything I could imagine. In the face of mortal danger, He took us out to pray at Gethsemane on the Mount of Olives. Stay awake and pray with me, He told us. But even as the Lord prayed with great anguish, we grew tired in our praying and fell fast asleep.
Here at Gethsemane, come friends and pray with me. The evening stars will give us light. Stay alert, keep watch. You don't know what is waiting for us on the other side of the moonless night. Father, you can do all things. Please take this cup from me, but whatever may come, your will be done. I am stressed, I am grieved. Father, take this cup from me, but whatever may come, your will be done. Simon Peter, for you ask me, the Spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. It was then that I was right. Wake up, Peter, why do you sleep? Couldn't you pray 1 hour with me? Soon we'll know the final while. Keep alert, you don't know when trials come and troubles suspend. Keep alert, rise and stand. Look, the betrayer is at hand. It is at hand. God's will be done. God's will be done. Stay awake, pray with me. Stay awake, pray with me.
So today, I say to you, my friends, stay awake. Rise from your spiritual slumber. God's work is at hand. Stay awake and pray that you will stand strong and faithful to the Lord. This world will test you physically, financially, spiritually. Pray that God will make you strong and steadfast through whatever trials may befall you. My most severe test would come that night when we were there arrested Jesus. I followed close behind until I stood outside the chief priest's house, where Jesus was being held. Soon, the people there began to recognize that I was a follower of Jesus, and I felt my fear and panic begin to grow. He called me the Rock, but soon, all the courage and confidence of this great rock will melt away as my loyalty was severely tested.
On a cold dark night I stood by the fire near the place they had taken my Lord. I saw him there with shackled hands, wondering what was in store. Then the people all around started looking my way. They were closing in on me, and I said anything that I could say, just so that I could go free. I never knew him.
Did you follow this man called Jesus?
No, I was never his friend.
Until one of his close disciples returned from Galilee.
With God as my witness, I never knew him. Why can't you understand? I never knew this man.
Did I deny my Lord? Oh, how will he forgive me?
never leave him. How could I have failed him so completely? While I ran away and cried bitterly from my guilt and shame, my Lord stood alone before his accusers. No, I wasn't there. I cowered in my hiding place while my Lord was out there being tried before Pilate, the Roman governor. When Pilate asked the crowds, "What do you want me to do with a man called the King of the Jews?" They shouted back, "Crucify him!" And so Pilate had the Lord flogged and handed him over to be crucified. My Lord was taken and clothed with a purple cloak, and they placed a crown of thorns on his head. They struck his head and spat upon him, and stripped off his clothes, and led him off to be crucified. I wasn't there. John stood by Jesus' mother and Mary Magdalene. From a distance, they watched as the Lord was nailed to a cross and crucified. The soldiers divided up his clothes, and people from all around came to mock him and taunt him with all manner of abuse. The sky became as dark as the night. How lonely and abandoned he must have felt as he cried out, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" He gave a loud cry and breathed his last. Jesus had told us that there is no greater love than when one dies for a friend. How weak was my love that I would not be there with him in his final hour. Then they rolled a stone across the entrance to the tomb. He called me his rock. In his darkest hour, I wasn't there. I felt I had failed him in every way. Shock and despair gripped me in the days after his death. As I tried to accept the fact that he was gone, Mary came to tell us that she had found his grave empty. I ran to see for myself. Even after I saw the open grave and his empty shroud, I was sure that someone had stolen his body, but now I understand what the empty tomb means to us. For Christ died for sins once for all, to bring us all to God. He was put to death with the body, but then made alive by the Spirit. So the sight of that empty tomb is our reason for being. The empty tomb is what gives us a passion to live in the new life that we find in Christ. Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In his great mercy, he has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. During those glorious days, we began to understand the full reality of the Lord's resurrection. But though I was full of joy and excitement, I still felt ashamed of having denied him on the night of his arrest. When I met Jesus again, face to face, he sensed my shame and showed me forgiveness as he restored my passion and renewed my call. Jesus comes to forgive the many times we deny him and falter in our faith. For we were like sheep going astray, but now may return to the Lord, our great shepherd, the overseer of our souls.